You have 5 minutes already. सर ऐसा नहीं होता ना, वो बार बार आपको बोलते हैं बार.
Good morning to everybody. Today it is PH007, compensation and rewards management. So this is also a specialized paper for the third semester for MBA. First, I try to give you overview of the blocks. There are 4 blocks. First block, your compensation and the rewards management. There are 4 units. Unit 1, compensation and the rewards management. Unit 2 is your frameworks and the compensation policy and reward systems. Unit 3 is the economic and the behavioral issues. Unit 4 is your international trends. And block 2 is your legal frameworks and the of compensation and the rewards. There are 2 units in the block 2, that is unit number 5 and 6. Legal framework of the compensation and the rewards. And unit 6 is your legal frameworks. Then your third block, it is the compensation management. So there are 4 units. Unit 7 is your job evaluation, the internal equity. Unit 8 is your pay structure. Unit 9 is your external equity and the pay share of service. Unit 10 is your institutional mechanisms for compensation. Block 4 is your rewards management. There are 3 units. Unit number 11 is your rewards systems. And unit 12 is your incentive schemes. And 13, the last unit is your allowances, purposes, and benefits for the food block. Now, the last, there are now maybe there are 8. So now in the block 1, there is a compensation and rewards management. Unit number 1. First, try to understand what are the compensations, and then there is different policies, and what are the reward management. Slowly you have to see it. So compensation policy, the term compensation is used to mean the employee's gross earnings in the form of financial rewards and the benefits as part of the employment. The compensation policy lays down the guidelines on the subject of the employee's remunerations, considering all the factors affecting the remuneration structure. A good compensation policy has a statutory effect on the entire organizations. Then the policy, what are the policies? It has the following features: the attracts and the retain the services of the disabled employees, then pays employees according to their importance and the difficulty of jobs, reward them according to merit and the ability, raises their morale and the productivity. So all these features should be, because the policy should be like that, where the employee can happily work and they ensure that all these things are there. At the same time, management is also to be seen that those who are working are desirable employees, and they are like to be retained in the company. They will not trying to leave these organizations. So their pay should be such a way. So what are the difficulties, day-to-day difficulties, or the they can manage the things, and some reward should be there, so that if somebody is doing a very good job, the performance is very good, then they should be rewarded. And to boost up the moral, basically the moral should be there. Uh, then they can effectively work, and the productivity can be increased. So all these things should be in the policy. Compensation and reward management, there is some policies there. Another further, it is a further some of the policies there. We explain to the how and why of their compensations. So how much should we you have to pay, your package should be, and why you are getting this amount. So that has to be explained in the level wise. Simplifies the wages and the salary administration and the control facilities. Then your facilities, collective bargaining, makes promotions and the transfer easy. So promotion should be transparent, and what are the transfer policy are also to be very transparent, and very rational way it should be there. Keeps employees cost within the reasonable limit. So per capita cost for the employee turnover, that should be reasonable limit. Incorporates the legal requirement. If any legal things are required, that has to be incorporated. Program. Now compensation program. The compensation is typically divided into a direct and indirect compensation. There are two types of compensation, some of the direct and some of the indirect. The direct compensation is used to describe the financial remunerations, usually cash, and includes such elements as a basic pay, dearness allowance, overtime pay, shift allowance, incentives, bonus, profit sharing, bonus, and commissions, etc. These all are pertaining to direct compensation. Now, indirect compensation, or we can say the supplements of the, or we can also sometimes you can see the fringe benefits. Fringe benefits, basically the refer to such benefits are provident fund, then your pension scheme, medical and health insurance, and sick leave, or various other benefits are parks, etc. Uh, Conveyance allowance, so all are the part of your indirect. Children family care, then your housing and the basically the HRA, housing and the relocation services, etc. These all are indirect compensations. So in view of the complexity of the factors, there is need to define and develop the compensation functions in an organizations, and determine its location and the many functions, compensation functions, the functions and the responsibilities of a compensation program will be as follows. To formulate compensation plans, to establish criteria for wage and salary determination, to establish a job evaluation system, a rating of jobs, job differentials and the job standards, then your to ascertain the ongoing rates for the jobs in industry and community, to analyze the government wage regulations, company wage policies, and agreements with unions to maintain up-to-date wage rates. So these all are the different functions which are required for the benefit of the employees. The functions and the responsibilities of a compensation program will be as follows. To take the policy recommendations, what are the policy that has to be recommended to rate the employees and the recommended wage increase, then to supervise and maintain records pertaining to all matters of the compensations. With all type of compensation that has to be record and has to be supervised. So compensation functions are, it is also to help the management to framing a compensation policy aligned to business goals and the objectives, then to promote and foster the desired values and the organizational culture through the compensation policy, to promote the team effort and unit performance through the compensation policy. There should be some of the promotional activities should be there to promote the team so that the team can be perform better. Some award system, or as a, if the particular project is completed, then some sort of incentives can be awarded, or maybe the performance link incentives can also to be introduced. So some policy should be there. Now framework of the compensation policy. The framework of the compensation policy at the macro and the micro levels. There are two levels. The good compensation policy has a statutory effect on the entire organizations. It attracts and retains the services of desirable employees, pays employees according to the importance and difficulty of their jobs. Then it rewards them according to their merit and ability, raises their moral and the productivity. It explains to them then how and why of the compensation simplifies wage and the salary administration and control facilitate collective bargaining, makes promotions and the transfer easy, keeps employees cost within the reasonable limit, and incorporate the legal requirement. In short, with a good compensation policy, employees are happier in their work, cooperation and loyalty are more pronounced, productive outputs is up, and quality is better. But in the absence of such plans, if suppose you consider this plan is not there, what will happen? The compensation are determined subjectively on the basis of haphazard and arbitrary decisions. This creates several inequalities, which are among the most dangerous source of friction and low moral in an enterprise. There are basically three parts of compensations. One is a primary, two is an incentive, and three is way for performance. So this is the three parts of the compensation. Now focus on the micro level considerations for evolving a compensation policy. In the macro level considerations generally include the following: attraction and retention, then your internal consistency, ability to pay and performance, labor cost and the productivity, cost of living, merit and seniority progression, motivation, and integrity. It means things are to be considered. Again, it is subject to the company's budget, and it should be feasible also, because if the policy is there, the compensation policy is there, but cannot bear these things, what are the pay package are there, that is it will hamper the total profit of the company. Then again it will be rethink. It should not be like this. Most of the money are only the package, going to the package. So it should be some balance. You have to see the balance. In the micro level, you have to see it. But all things features should be there. It should be include all these things. So external consistency has to be there. Suppose consecutive first 2 years salary is given good salary, and the third year now deduction has started. It should not. So once you are implemented, uh, it should be continuing for certain period of time, means number of years should be there, and it should be grow. Card should be in the advanced stages. Main thing in the macro level, which are the integrity and the motivation. There are two things that are very vital points, because it should be there, and what are the package compensation should be. It is a cost of living can be compensated. This compensate the living cost. Otherwise, you cannot say it is a good package. I mean the good compensation policy. Now, behavioral issues are there in between. As we know that the money is powerful motivations for the employees, because money is a fundamental for completion of a tax. Secondly, it is a medium of the exchange of the money, also perform the function of scorecard by which the employees assess the values that organization places on their services. But behavioral scientists thinks otherwise. They downgrade money as a motivator. They prefer, instead of techniques such as challenging jobs, goals, uh, participations in decisions making, and the non-monetary incentives for motivating the employees. The behavioral science theories on the reward management is based on the following factors. That is, money is not important to all people. People fails to see a direct link between monetary rewards and performance. In practice, there is hardly any significant difference between high pay and the high performance related to low pay and the low performance. There are other social, psychological, and the political unions factors that affects the productivity. The behavioral science theories on reward management is based on the following factors: the relationship among the employees, social bondings are not always based on the monetary criteria. The financial rewards discourage the risk taking propensity of the workers. In conclusions, the conclusion is that money can motivate some people under some conditions. In other words, money cannot motivate all people under all circumstances. So, different motivational factors are playing theory. Now, which theories? There are various theories of which, and their relevance are listed. Now, economic theories, and then your theory of the wage subsistence, the surplus value theory, that is also important. Surplus value theory, marginal productivity theory, the bargaining theory, demand and supply theory, the purchasing power theory. These all are pertaining to wage related matters. Process oriented behavior theory. Now, the service delivered by the public bureaucracy depends on the internal state or the system of the organizations. Basically, this is structural way. There are so many hierarchy levels are there. So there are various institutional processes as given below which are influence the functioning of the institutions. Some of the things are uh, factors and affecting the total total systems. So which are the things? Which are the influences factors? Hierarchical structures, where the lot of levels are there. Things are moving from different to different people's different department, and the modification and changing is going on during that period. Sometimes it is also there affecting. Then another the formal structures. It is formal structures, so you have to follow these things. That steps cannot skip. Communication network. Suppose sometimes the communication network is not enough, not strong enough, or what are the information and messages the MIS, that is the management information systems, are not functioning properly, or may not be well planned. So that communication network will be affected. That is one of the influence. The factors are there, or the functions. Interaction and influence process. That is also one of them. And finally, the control process, where the feedback systems, process, delay, everything are involved. Now we come to the reward systems. In the reward systems, this is the system of the formulating and the implementing the strategies related to rewarding the workers on the basis of fairly, equitably, and consistently in accordance with their value of the organizations. So we have to judge things, what is the value of these particular workers, and accordingly he has to be awarded, he has to be paid for these things. So some sort of strategy should be there. It deals with the design, implementation, and maintenance of the reward practices that are geared to the improvement of the organizational, team, and individual partners. The organizations generally follow four types of reward systems. The organizations generally follow four types of reward. One, membership and the seniority. Number two, your tax performance. Three is your competency, job status. So there are four type of the reward system is there. Means if you are eligible for some of the reward, then you are getting a seniority and your membership. And as a tax performer, one type of reward system, say who will be the best performer and who is the best competency as a skilled persons. So that is the competency award like this. And this is a job status. Suppose some people are, he has completed the job in time or maybe the before time, project execution and implemented very nicely. So all these are part of your job status. What are the main features of the reward systems? So now we have to discuss about what are the main features. It supports the achievement of the business strategy. Then it addresses the longer time longer term issues related to how people should be valued for what they do and what they achieved, that should be addressed. It is integrated with other HR strategies. So reward systems should be integrated with the HR strategies itself, and especially those concerning human resource development through the HRD itself. So it is concerned with the developing a positive employment relationship and your psychological contract. So it improves the value of the organizations. So if the your system is there, so automatically it will create some value of the organizations from the externally. People will start thinking the company is very good. They have a lot of award systems and they are giving a value in their employees. It creates an health competitions among the employees to work hard and with determinations. Everybody has to try to achieve this award, so there should be one competitions and competitive mind should be there so that they can also do these things. So because of that, they have to start hardworking and in a competitive nature. It helps in other HR initiatives, key areas like the resourcing, overall development of the organizations. The another important feature of the reward system is the flexibility. So there should be some flexibility. Reward systems are low cost solutions for increasing the productivity. Suppose if you have some one time some cash money is there, suppose for example, if you complete these things within this period, you will get this amount of money, maybe 1% or 2%, whatever it is. So see, that solution is very cost solution because you are getting more product, you are getting the more productions. Your employees' productivity is increase their productivity with a small amount of reward systems. So it is a cost solution. The most important features of the reward system is to enhance the profitability of the organization. So in the things, the last point, that is the important things. If you have a reward system in the organizations, so it will enhance the profitability of the organizations. Now we are discussing about the international trades. The design of the compensation package traditionally it involves the four basic components. That the basic pay, some some mechanisms of the compensations for loss of purchasing power of the money, incentive for putting effort beyond the norm and the fringe benefits, the factors in present scenario, what are the conditions going on, they impose on the organizations a need to rethink fundamentally the process and the philosophy of the management of the human resources. Because scenarios changes. It's not any traditionally you cannot think it. You have to see. You have to see what the human resources, how to develop them mentally, physically, and they should be workable more, and they can give a more product. So there is a defined need. There is a definite need to create a right kind of alignment between the compensation packages and the emerging realities of business in terms of employees or employers' expectations. So you have to align, you have to retune, you have to tune the things based on the compensation package should be such a way so that it can give the motivations. At the same time, what are the emerging issues related to business that can be also compensated. It means the employee and employer should be happy enough. So, okay, from the employer side, they should feel okay. What are the packages there? What are the compensation packages there? There is enough for the, or maybe more than that, for the employees. And at the same time, employee can also think, yes, what are the employers given? What are the packages there that is sufficient and it is fulfill my desires and day to day work can be met. No problems. A well designed and the implemented system uh, should reward the kind of results and the right kind of behaviors. So, if it is a well designed and implemented systems, then reward can be result very good results. So, employers are rethinking their position based on basically the fundamental questions. There are three fundamental questions. Based on this, uh, employer can rethink. What are the points? Rethinking points, fundamental points. That is one. Should the pay for performance be delivered as base salary or as a periodic incentives? So, salary it is some as a periodic incentives or some base salary that he has to rethink. Number two is should pay for performance be based on the individual or as a team results or a combination of both. That is also 2 points are fundamental questions because some of the works are done by the as a team. Sometimes individual are doing these things. Sometimes it's a combination. Some individuals are perform very good, and as a whole, the team is also perform very good. So, this type of situations, what type of pay should be? Just like a football or cricket, when the as a team they are performing, but you see where in the man of the match one of the is declared because of him or because of that person's match as win situations. So he should be awarded separate, even though he is a part of the team, but he is also awarded as a specialist. So like this, should the pay of performance be focused on the job or person performing the job? How much he has focused on the job, how much dedication he has shown the job, that is the important, or what he has performed the job, the result, that is important. So this should be a questionable and it is all our fundamental questions, which is the way you have to think. These are all in the international, there isn't trends going on. You cannot see the traditional systems. Now the traditional and the present systems are drastically changed. It's not in the same thing now. And especially for the after the COVID-19, the think process has changed drastically. It has changed. Tremendous pressure in the HR departments. They are rethinking everything, redesigning everything, and the restructuring the systems because the online and your work from home. So all these things are criteria has come up, and the behavioral patterns also change. People's motive are changing when they are educated, when the people are employees are experience in some situations. So way of way of design is and your change of mind is also a factor. So priority is also changing, and so that all these things are factors in the business experience, especially for the women workers, those who are working girl, maybe they are maintaining in the home front, at the same time they are office front and their personal life. All these things are uh, when it is a combining situations, how to segregate it, how to motivate them in what the way, and timing, fixing the timing of the work job, and from the apart from the job, how to motivate remotely. That is a situational very uh, needs to be done. The basic questions through offer a range of approaches for designing the compensation packages. Designing is one of the important factors. Job related compensations. So, first you have to see the compensation for what? It should be some link, should be there. That is a job. Okay. So, compensation package has to be formulated, package has to be made, but package has to be designed based on the jobs. What positions, what levels, how much job pressures, what are the skills required, how much time he has spending, what is spending, and how much time he has devoted. So accordingly, you have to rate it different levels and make the and prepare the compositions package. Number B is the performance related compensations. So when he is on the job, this package is already made and he is already performing. So what is the result of the performance? Based on this performance also, you can prepare the compensations. How much allowance, how much should be to be given this particular persons. Another type is your designing factors, that is your approaches basically. Another approach is your competence. If they is very competent, skilled enough, or specialized, particularly this field, so compensation package has to be changed. As a consultant, suppose you are appointing consultant, so it is considered that consultant as a specialized, is a special, professional, skilled enough. So his package will be different, his compensation will be different because he is already competent person. Now, limitations of the job-related compensations. Globalization of the business and the technological revolutions are the two forces that are fundamentally changing the workplace. Because of the globalization of the business, definitely there are two factors: globalizations and the technological revolutions. So it's workplace has changed. These developments have replaced the job by a role that has much vague boundaries and that requires a much greater depth and the breadth of the skills and the abilities. So, main point is here we have to focus, we have to deeply have to think about it. That is the skills and the abilities. There are two things are very much important. Other things are may not be a very uh, main role play for this. So boundaries are, if we put some boundaries, so sometimes it may not be a effective work to develop the persons. So you have to develop the skill and the abilities. There are two ways you have to do. Process orientations and the customer focus. More will be the prevalence on the traditional systems as an instrument of the motivation. So Customer focus is also customer, what the demand is customers, what customer is needed, their design is are to be counted. Now, competency-based compensations. The competency-based compensation system is based on the premise that the possession of the appropriate competencies is highly correlated with the superior performance. That is a competition-based things, systems. Acquisitions and the demonstration of the competencies relevant to the role assigned to the employee can therefore be taken as a surrogate measures or the performance for the purpose of the compensations. So for the compensation, decide to measuring the things, we can do these things. So acquisition and demonstration competencies are basically related to your role assignment. Basically, what type of things are they have done. That measuring that data, input points are required. There are three building blocks of the system. So there are three building blocks of the system. These are the definition of the competency described as a characteristics of an individual that has been shown to drive the superior job performance. Competencies manifest themselves as a complex set of the knowledge, skills, and the personal traits that together drive superior performance. In other words, you can say the competencies describe what makes people effective in a given role. Suppose particular role is given, and then you have to see how much he has effectively do these things. When the knowledge and the skill components of the competencies are clearly visible, the personal attributes like self-image, then traits, and the motives are hidden components and are difficult to understand and influence. The concept of the competency also defines the role excellence since it is based on behaviors associated with the superior performance. It defines what kind of behaviors can and should be used to satisfy objectives most effectively. For individual employee, it means an understanding not only of what essential objectives are to be achieved, but also of what skills, knowledge, and the behaviors are needed to be achieved. So, individual employees essential objectives has to be achieved, correct? But also see really as increasing his skill or not. Yes, during this learning process, his knowledge is improved or not, and what behavior he is showing, and that is also required because it's also in the target is there. Really, he has achieved or not. That positions he has achieved or not. I will show you some of the diagram of that. How to measure the things, how to fix the target. Some table is there, and how much achieved you can compare to these things. Now the career stages. Career stages or the competency levels define the board complex set of knowledge, skills, and personal attributes that an employee is expected to acquire and demonstrates as he grows in his career. So there are normally four stages or levels, we can say it. Uh, the stage of the dependency, stage two is the independence. Number three is your contribution through others, and stage four is your leadership through the vision. So career stages, you see, was initially definitely you have to take some support systems. You have your boss will be there. You have to learning process. You have to through these books, the library, or primary other discussions. You are learning. So some dependency is there. First stages. Then in the second stage, definitely you will be likely to do is your independence. Independently, you can do these things. You can perform the things without any uh, major guidance. Maybe the minor or small type of guidance are required, but you can perform this. That is some sort of your the second stage is independence. Third stage, contributions. Contribution to the others. How much you are contributing, that is in the third stage. Because first two stages already you are overcome, you are knowledgeable, you have already learned, and you are already performed. Now the time has come to contributions. And the last stage is your leadership, the vision, because how much your visions, project, where you can foresee your company, where you can see your subordinate after the 5 years or 10 years, where you want to be, especially, and where your team should be there. So that is the type of leadership and vision should be there. So that is the fourth stage in the career stages. Talking about career stages. Now 360-degree your feedback. The fourth building block of the competency-based compensation system is a 360-degree feedback. Instead of confining the feedback to the immediate superior, data related to be demonstration of task critical competencies is also gathered from the peers, fellow team members, subordinates, and internal and external customers. So basically it is 360-degree means from the all angles, all quadrants you are getting the informations and can be judged, your competency can be measured from the all angles. So managers are also in a stronger position to coach and develop their direct reports. So it is one of the criteria should be for the managers. Here you see that this diagram, the competency and here the level of achievement. Level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4, there are different levels are there. So you see the know-how, basically knowledge, basically the know-how in the knowledge in the level 1, where you are, and the level 2 conditions and level 3 conditions. So there you are achieved or honored. The black dark line, that is your requirements, because you require this much. And second line, little thin lines, that is your achieved. You're already assessed. This is already assessed, means it has been observed. How much? So that means little bit slower. I mean, it is a lagging, little bit lagging, not 100%. He has done. Target is up to the level three. When you are in the level three, so your by the time you should be a knowledge enough, but you are not, little bit delay. And analytical thinking, same thing. Analytical thinking up to the level three, it has been fixed. This much should be there. But by the assessment, it has been observed that again it is a slowly uh, something is less. Then strategic visions are there. It is almost the same. What are the things? Then your influencing, organizational awareness, team management, achievement orientation, self confidence. Everything are already decided by the achievement. How much should be requirement and where you are. So that are some of the uh, measuring tools, measuring systems that figures the assessment of the achievement. How to assess, how to assess the achievement. Then is another diagram is there, that is a traditional versus competency based model. Earlier what happened, you see the linkages. Entry, then the first level, then second level, and third level, step by step. So progressions are within the your pay levels, and that they are determined by the annual increment and annual assessment. And you are growing. That way you have to go ahead. So the progression between basically the levels and determined by the three sets of criteria. There are so many criteria are there. Based on this, it is going on. Now, see the reward strategy need to offer a comprehensive well-being program. In the present times, for example, the reward system should help the employees cope with the anxiety and the stress due to the COVID pandemic. Because their anxiety is there, salary, some money should be there, should some sort of reward system should be so that they can survive. The businesses are offering to cater to employees' needs by offering the flexi hours. So what happened? And that time some flexi hours has been offered, a paid time for the critical domestic needs, childcare expansions, and your counseling and guidance during the stressful situations. If something is problems or facing a problem, your stress is there. So some sort of guidance you can be provided so that you can overcome these stressful situations. The total reward system must take into the account culture, employees' value propositions, strategic goals, market competitiveness, internal and external equity, pay off the performances. The reward system is conducting proper HR analytics with the objectives of the talent retentions. So talent should be retained. Under associations can also be a cause of an employee leaving the organizations, which is more prevalent among the millennials, which are becoming the dominant promotions for the workforce today. So, under association should be avoided as much as possible. Now, some of the trends, see, analytics shows if the reward strategy is effectively motivating the better performance, bring out the critical drivers of the employee engagement. The HR analysis with the help of the big data should be able to analyze the impact of the financial and the non-financial words of the employee engagement and fine-tune pay packages, retaining the talent and the top performance will be drive profitability because the analysts are doing based on this big data. It is possible because when you are getting all the information from the all dimensions, then analysis can be a 100% successful. So analysis employs the engagement, attribution rate, necessary inputs for the employment, appropriate rewards. During the post-COVID era, you can see the increase in the average salary as well as the percentage of the companies offering the benefits parts according to the recent survey conducted by the Fed. The data is that 40% employees are actively looking for the job and there are high attritions in a few sectors, the technology 2021, the survey says. And this has resulted in aggressive salary increments and hefty retention bonuses and parts. 78% of the companies also have planned to give variable pay to employees as compared with 65% of the this is as per the 2020. So you see the trends, the international because now this slowly the incremental demand and the different sectors and the technology are now changing. And it has resulted in aggressively the salary increment because now the most of the ITs companies and other it has declared the salary hike as per the statistics by the PwC and other companies, those who are in the survey in this field, they are estimated that around 10 to 20% hike will be there for the pay packages. And plus the allowances will be also to be increased. And most of the employees are waiting for the increment on the particular jobs. They are waiting for the increments. And then maybe after that, they can leave these organizations or can search to the other jobs because the demand is like this. So until and unless you are increasing the salary, some sort of hefty bonus and parts, so then they cannot be uh, they can try to change the jobs. So changing jobs intensity are nowadays it is picked up, and at the same time you see the layoffs and cutoff is also there. Fresh recruitment is also there, and those and the seniors, heavy amount they are drawing. They are also some sort of losing their things. I mean, they're losing the jobs. Company is deciding those who are highly paid employees may not be required because based on the fresh recruitment, they can achieve their target. Maybe that case they can recruit 2 or 3 persons instead of keeping the existing staff, those who are highly paid. So that type of policies are going on, and that is different policies. Because at the same time, the rate of recruitment is also required. Otherwise, the unemployment will be started. So fresh blood, fresh energy, fresh air is also required to develop the economy, develop the company. Altogether, it is everything are required. The technology and the consumer sectors, it is also recorded substantial salary hikes. Technology and the consumer sectors, that is around 10%, as I say, 10%. And service auto sector and the chemical sectors, that is offering around the increase of 9%. Where the 43% were the recorded providing home house home office allowances, and 60% offering the allowances for the Wi-Fi and the utility bills. So this is the way you have to redesign your packages. So compensation package are accordingly things. So it is a very tough job in present scenario, and internationally most of the companies are deciding how to should be a good package so that the retention should be maintained, turnover can be reduced, employee turnover, and make the people happy. The employee should be make happy them so that it can be maintain the things, and company can grow accordingly. So this is the way now I try to complete the block one. Block one, there are 4 units, so we have touched upon all the things. And for the next block, we can start in the next classes, next sessions. So okay, thank you very much.